Joshua chapter 10. When Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had taken Ai and utterly destroyed it, and that as he had done to Jericho and its king, he did also to Ai and its king, and that the inhabitants of Gibeon by their own accord had come over to Joshua and Israel, then they feared greatly for themselves. For the king knew that Gibeon was a great city, as one of the mother cities, and that all her men were mighty. So Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, sent to Hoham, king of Hebron, to Piram, king of Jarmuth, to Japhia, king of Lachish, and to Debir, king of Eglon, saying, "Come up to me and help me, and we will go to war against Gibeon." For they went over of their own accord to Joshua and the children of Israel, the 5 kings of the Jebusites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon, they and all their people, went up and besieged Gibeon and forced it to surrender. Then the inhabitants of Gibeon sent to Joshua in the camp of Israel at Gilgal, saying, "Do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly. Help us and rescue us, for all the kings of the Amorites who dwell in the hill country are gathered together against us." So Joshua went up from Gilgal, he and all his men of war, everyone mighty in strength. For the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear them, for I have delivered them into your hands. Not one of them shall remain before you." Then Joshua came upon them suddenly, for he had marched all night from Gilgal. The Lord routed them from the face of the sons of Israel, and the Lord crushed them with a great destruction at Gibeon. They pursued them on the road heading to Beth Horon, and slew them as far as Azekah and Makkedah. But as they fled from the face of the sons of Israel on the descent of Beth Horon, the Lord cast down hailstones on them from heaven as far as Azekah. More died from the hailstones than the sons of Israel killed with the sword in the battle. Then Joshua spoke to the Lord on the day God delivered the Amorites into the hands of Israel, when he crushed them in Gibeon. They were crushed before the face of the sons of Israel. For Joshua said, "Let the sun stand still over Gibeon, and the moon over the valley of Ajalon." So the sun and moon stood still until God brought vengeance against their enemies. The sun stood still in the midst of heaven and did not set in the west until the end of one day. There was no day like that day, either before or after, that God should hear a man, because the Lord joined in war with Israel. Then those 5 kings fled and hid in the cave of Makkedah. So it was reported to Joshua, saying, "The 5 kings were found hiding in the cave of Makkedah." Joshua said, "Roll stones against the mouth of the cave and set men to guard them. As for you, do not stay there, but pursue your enemies and attack their rear guard. Do not allow them to enter their cities, for the Lord our God will deliver them into our hands." Thus it came to pass that when Joshua and the sons of Israel ceased to strike them in an overwhelming slaughter, those who escaped took refuge in the fortified cities. Then all the people returned safely to Joshua at Makkedah, and not one of the sons of Israel grumbled with his tongue. Then Joshua said, Unblock the cave and bring out these 5 kings from the cave." So they brought out the 5 kings from the cave, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. When they brought them to Joshua, he called together all Israel and the leaders of the army who went with him, saying, "Come forward and put your feet on their necks." So they came forward and placed their feet on their necks. Then Joshua said to them, "Do not be afraid of them, nor be fearful. Be courageous, for the Lord will do thus to all your enemies against whom you wage war." After this, Joshua put them to death and hanged them on 5 trees. They hung on the trees until evening. Then it came to pass that towards sunset Joshua gave orders, and they took them down from the trees and cast them into the cave where they had fled for refuge. They rolled stones over the cave, which remain to this day. Then they took Makkedah that day and struck it with the edge of the sword. They utterly destroyed every living thing in it. No one was spared or allowed to escape. So they did to the king of Makkedah as they had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him departed from Makkedah to Libnah and besieged Libnah. The Lord gave it into the hands of Israel. They took it and its king and destroyed it with the edge of the sword, along with every living thing in it. Nothing was spared or allowed to escape. So they did to its king as they had done to the king of Jericho. After this, Joshua and all Israel with him departed from Libnah to Lachish and encamped around it and besieged it. The Lord also gave Lachish into the hands of Israel. On the second day, they took it and destroyed it with the edge of the sword. They utterly destroyed it as they had done to Libnah. Then Horam, the king of Gezer, marched up to help Lachish, but Joshua smote him and his people with the edge of the sword, until not one of them was spared or allowed to escape. Then Joshua and all Israel with him departed from Lachish to Eglon and encamped around it and besieged it. So the Lord gave it into Israel's hand, and they took it on that day and destroyed it with the edge of their sword. They utterly destroyed every living thing in it, as they had done to Lachish. After this, Joshua and all Israel with him departed to Hebron and encamped around it. He struck it with the edge of the sword, along with every living thing in it. No one was spared. They destroyed it and everything in it, and as they had done to Eglon. Then Joshua and all Israel returned to Debir and encamped around it. They took it, its king, and its villages, and struck it with the edge of the sword. They utterly destroyed it, along with every living thing in it. They spared nothing in it, and as they had done to Hebron and its king, so they did to Debir and its king. After this, Joshua smote all the land of the hill country and the south, and the plains of the land, and Asadoth and her kings. And not one of them was spared. They utterly destroyed every living thing, as the Lord God of Israel commanded, from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza and all of Goshen, as far as Gibeon. Joshua smote their kings and their land once for all, because the Lord God of Israel was fighting for Israel.